Got drive like Uber. On the road like the runner bee. These coyotes can't catch up with me. Got these hits blowing like TNT. I got drive like Uber. Yeah, all these lions in this pride with me. Hunting on the daily cause the dream ain't free. Gotta get it now. Time to wait for me. I got drive like Uber. All right. We are back for another episode of the Dinner Club Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Larnell Walker, a.k.a. the Lion of Many Hunts. Speaking of hunts, God damn, this is another day I made record time to get in. Woo! I be on the dash, people. I'm taking off my jacket literally right now. So I'm gonna let my man Tyson do his 1-2. I'm gonna single him out on the screen for a second, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna get myself settled in. Ty, do the 1-2-2, the magic. Again, thank you for tuning in for the Dinner Club Podcast, man. We appreciate y'all.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody. So I'm here to kick off the episode. Of course, we're gonna let Lionel get settled in. But hey, we're coming back for another great episode. Today, we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff that's just you didn't know. Because a lot of things are changing and evolving right now in society, both as always, both good and bad. But we're seeing a lot of wins that are going on right now, specifically in our community. We're seeing a lot of wins and some celebrities coming back, and we're seeing some kind of awkward things that people don't know how to feel about those right now, right? Because today is our first official day of mask advisories, right, in Massachusetts. So a lot of other places that have been doing that are having people break those rules, and they're starting to enforce some of those consequences. So we're going to be going over some of that stuff. All in all, I want to see in the comments, though, how everyone is doing today. I want to see what people are doing. Are you checking in? Where are you checking in from? What are you excited to hear about? Go over. We got a lot of good things going on in the community. Specifically, I want to talk about the next thing that we have coming up, which is on May 14th. Okay, that is going to be the 5 pillars of hip hop. And we're doing that with National Parks, Third Eye Unlimited in National Parks, as well as Still Ill Productions and Yellow Hat Labs. We're going to be putting that on and going over those 5 pillars and really just showing you people some good, interesting things that are going on in your community, the history of hip hop, all that. Oh, we got you back with the lights.
Man, listen, if y'all only knew, the struggle is real. We're bouncing a lot at once. But again, we appreciate everybody who tunes in and hangs tight with us, man. Again, we're doing a whole lot, you know what I mean? So
you're right. Exactly.
Your boy got caught at that Fairhaven Bridge. It ain't no joke over there. I hit every obscenity in the book at that bridge. Trust me today,
man.
But we
I can only imagine.
All right, so yeah, let me pull up the 14th for everybody while you're talking about it and everything like that, man. We got plenty of dope topics to go over today, man. Once again, we appreciate everybody.
Yeah, tuning in.
Let's see.
Yeah, so the 14th again is going to be just going over that. We're going to have the national parks doing their part in that to let you guys know a little bit about what they're doing, about the history of the park, and then the future of the park, right? Because right now, people are focusing so much on the present and everything that's going on. We're trying to push people to think about the future, what this means as far as not going back out or going back out, and then what it means as far as content and how you're going to get your educational fix, your entertainment fix. And we're going to do our best to be a big part of that. When I say we, I mean not just Lionel and myself. I mean Third Eye Unlimited, the National Park, the Bar Foundation, New Bedford Creative, who else am I in there? Mass Development. Everyone's going to be coming together to kind of try to, steer you guys in a new direction. So let's go ahead and see that right there. So we got
May 14th, 2020, 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. live on Third Eye Unlimited and the New Bedford Wayland National Historical Park Facebook pages. We're going to have the young and super dope Nevaeh doing her 1-2, the incomparable Amanda coming out to do her 1-2 as well. And we have Liv Brandon. These two are usually working as a tandem together, so I'm sure they have some kind of work to be doing together at that. Nevaeh is going to be singing to us. Amanda's going to be doing a little bit of everything. Liv Brandon's going to be singing to us, the songstress. I'm going to have Shania in the building, super dope, talented young woman with her dance skills, going to bring it to the table. She's also looking to do some more stuff as far as in the capacity of singing as well. So we're hoping to get that to debut soon. But for this one, she'll be holding us down with some of them moves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then
last but certainly not least, man, listen, this guy Ben Allen, man, holding us down with his talents, painting at our event, virtually, is a super big deal. If you've been paying attention the last few days, myself and Tyson have been doing a lot of testing as far as the technicalities and what it takes to actually make this happen. We're successfully getting closer and closer every day to making sure that we can put on a quality event for everybody. So we're having, a lot of success there. Again, it's just working out the different dynamics of people being in our space, mitigating with social distancing in hand, and also working with people who are going to be trying to provide you some entertainment virtually. I just think that we're really proud to be able to still be doing stuff like this. And I just want to give a special big thanks for this one, especially to the New Bedford Wayland National Historical Park for holding us down and bringing this series back. Last year, we called it the Summer Concert Series. One time it was called the Autumn Concert Series, but now we've kind of settled on the 5 Pillars of Hip Hop series. So you'll be seeing this all the way through, I believe, October and November. But you'll be seeing these events take place along with a couple of other events. We found a way to make ourselves useful during this time and help people deal with, the lack of, being able to be in person, but still having that enrichment of artistry and being together, having a form of togetherness during this time. So super dope. Check it out live on Facebook. Vaha's involved, shout out Vaha, aka Aha, but everything's with a V right now. It's everything right. Again, Yellow Hat Labs. I forgot to throw your logo on this one. I'll get that up there for you. My man, Yellow Hat Labs. That's Tyson's thing. Still ill. We're doing our 1-2. We're always doing something. So really appreciate everybody who's holding us down, man. And everybody who's going to be a part of this. It's going to be super dope. And we got a whole bunch of more events and stuff going on right now. I mean, it's really kicked up a notch for us. Nothing's really changed except for us moving into a virtual space to provide that energy that we always do for people.
Yep. And then, the very next day, we hitting you again over the head with V3E Pride, right? If you've ever had the opportunity or haven't had the opportunity yet to come to a 3E Pride event, you're missing out. All right. That is where we get to see people work through their craft. That is where we get to see stars emerge, right? Like Leo the Kind, who recently just got signed to Lava Records. All right. We can say that we had Leo the Kind there working through a lot of his songs that ended up putting him on the map, right? And so having that platform to work through your craft, right, to get good at performing, to get better at singing, to develop your stage presence, to get crowd interaction and feedback to help kind of hone you. And again, you have to take the good with the bad, right? You're going to get some good feedback and you may get some bad feedback, but you have to take that, make that into something constructive and push forward if this is really something that you want to do. And so 3E Pride has been that platform for, I want to say, almost 2 years now.
Yes. Yep.
You had that popping off for like 10 months before I got involved. So, and that's been that platform. And now we want to bring that back to you because we don't want our youth, we don't want our artists to fall by the wayside and kind of stifle or stagnate their craft during this time. We want them to have the opportunity to still work on it and still get that feedback. And now with it being virtual, you can get feedback from far more people, right? Before we were averaging around 120 people showing up to the events. But now virtually, we go ahead and we can hit thousands, you know what I mean? And they can give you feedback, again, both positive and negative. And during this time, we're going to try to do something extra special with that, which is allowing every artist to have either their Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. So if you are tuning in, not saying you have to toss something in the pot, but remember, these artists are out of their gig cycle right now. They're not able to perform at restaurants and do little local travel, and make money. So they're putting this on for free, but you have to realize that they're also still trying to support themselves with their artistry to keep things going. And so we want to be a part of that. You want to talk a little bit more about your new Bedford launch? I'm excited too. So
yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. Let's finish off with the V3E Pride virtual experience. We're gonna have some super dope talent in the building. Shout out to Mandy Frazier holding us down as usual. She's a part of the core of the Third Eye team. Making sure we're holding it down. I think it was important to emphasize that this isn't just programs being ran by people trying to get artists to do their thing, but it's actually programming being ran by artists. You know what I'm saying? We're always bringing the artist perspective to the table. We're kind of changing the mold and the fabric of what's happening in our city, as far as like making sure that we're not just asking people to show up and provide their talents for people's entertainment, but we're also making sure that they're being taken care of for their time when we can. You know, all platforms are not capable of doing that, but when we do have the funding, we believe in using that funding appropriately to make sure that we appreciate people. So shout out Mandy. She's going to be the first one up for the V3E Pride events, doing some live artwork for us. It's going to be super dope. We just talked about some of the pieces she's going to be doing. It's going to be something around the Your New Bedford launch I'll get into in a second. We're also going to have the wonderful, incomparable Kathy coming in and doing her one too, all the way from the Infinite Power of Culture, all the way out in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, holding us down all the way over here. She came out last year for the Open, did a super dope job with all her kids. She's a super strong woman holding it down, and we really appreciate her efforts. And then my man Libsy, all the locals who know Libsy knows Libsy is bringing the disrespect, right? But what's super dope about Libsy is he actually learned the value of what we're trying to provide here for artistry and making people whole artists, not just lane artists. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to provide you the super highway of what your capability is. And he's actually making positive creative content to provide for these events. So it's super dope to have him balance it out and bring some of that positive content to the world. So thank you so much to Libsy. My man Ralphie, multilingual, super dope songwriter, singer. It's going to be super dope what he's going to do. If you didn't catch the battles, man, please make sure you catch him at the V3E Pride. And then Thorn, my man Thorn, local, super dope. Barmageddon type dude. Him and my man Policy had a super dope show together on the battles. Yeah. You know, it was a friendly battle, but they both brought it. My man Jet's gonna come out. Jet's a part of the Most Def Dance crew. If you don't know, you better find out. We're holding it down with those guys. So Jet's gonna do his thing, man. The guy is just a beast. I don't even know how he does with all them dreads, bro. It'd be crazy. I'm like, bro, my head's heavy watching you move around. So. Super dope. What's up, Mike? Appreciate you, brother. And then my man Adverse Reaction. So my man Adverse Reaction is a battle rapper, actually. But he's going to be switching it up for us, you know, again, providing some balanced content. He's going to be writing a piece about, you know, his struggles and what he came through as far as his journey of dealing with addiction and all of that stuff and getting clean, and, you know, how he used that to funnel his talents into his battle rap, you know, world, and how he's taking advantage of all his talents now. And so again, we appreciate him for bringing some spoken word to the table. And everybody knows Maya. If you don't know Maya, you better find out. Maya is a super dope woman. I call her a matriarch of the community. You know what I mean? She's always holding it down. She's out here doing a 1-2. She's had beautiful twins recently. And again, she still was out here with that belly and all, holding it down, hitting us with them finger snaps. So we appreciate Maya so much. Gonna come out and bless with some of her spoken word. Again, all live on Facebook. You can go to thirdeyunlimited.org to get some more information, or you can follow us at thirdeye_unlimited. And then, you know, when we're hashtagging everything right now, it's all about hashtag art is everywhere and hashtag your new Bedford. We're going to get into that right now. So we've been awarded the $50,000 grant for the Artists Everywhere initiative, which is super dope. And I'm super happy to be a part of that. And we all are. We all did our parts in major and minor ways, you know, all up and down the scale. I think most of us, you know, for the most part, don't like to shine too much light on our individual selves. Like when people big me up, I'm always making sure that I'm saying it's a total team effort, because at the end of the day, no matter, you know, how small of a piece you are on the puzzle or how big of a piece you are on the puzzle, you help create the mosaic. You know what I'm saying? So I'm appreciative if it came from advice, if it came from, you know, critique, if it came from suggestions, if it came from clashing heads. You know, one thing that is important that we try to express here is that we can agree to disagree, but we want to make sure that we agree to disagree with respect and be able to maintain humanity amongst each other and be able to stay at the table to get the common goal accomplished. And I think that's one of the strong suits of why we were awarded this grant, because our team is one of the most diverse teams in the city, just period. There was a narrative that was being painted about Third Eye and being moved downtown and all this other stuff and everything. And the point was to get you to understand this is your New Bedford. You don't have to be in a corner of your city. It's too small for that. There's only 3 sides that we represent, and it's way too small for that. I come from a major city in Boston, and this city's just as major as far as its talents and its ability to grow and its potential. But it will only do that if we make downtown as diverse as possible. You know, big shout out to us, man. We got our black flag hanging back out there. I want to express something, because a lot of people take that flag the wrong way. It's no different than you representing your heritage any other way. What happens is that my people especially African Americans, have lost their way a little bit about representing themselves and their culture. It's okay. I can represent the American flag. I can represent Black Lives Matter. I can represent police lives matter. You know what I'm saying? I can represent all of the above, but I want to make sure that our flag is somewhere in that dichotomy of flags. You know what I'm saying? And that it's understood that red, black, and green means a whole lot to our roots and who we are. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of our pride, and it's a part of the reason why me acknowledging that aspect of my life is part of the reason why I am who I am now, doing what I can in the community. So again, it's all about making this your New Bedford. The launch is going to be the same day as V3E Pride, May 15, 2020, 7 to 9 p.m. Again, live on Facebook.com/Third Eye Inc. We also will be posting these events because, you know, usually we have our events Fridays on the Dinner Club podcast. So we're trying to keep the theme of music going on Fridays. And we also will be making sure that we cross promote that event to the Dinner Club podcast. So that will serve as our episode as well. And again, it's just, you know, being multifaceted, man. You know, you can be a knife or you can be a multi-purpose tool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the way you got to look at life. You can have a knife and a hammer, or you can have both in one. And that's how we got to look at things. You know, we can't, I understand the hard times people are going through right now as far as the mental dexterity and, you know, understanding that you got to stay home and everything. But again, like we talked about in the last episode, you're not being asked to draft. You're not being asked to go to war. You're not being asked to storm the beach. You're being asked to have humanity and care about each other. You know, when it comes to the mass, I posted something earlier about that, and it's just a simple gesture of humanity amongst each other. We're going to get into a whole bunch of that when we get into topics later. But I want you guys to understand that it's a big deal that we were the first ones to get this grant, and I cannot express enough. Just the, you know, Kerry is a person that she doesn't want the admiration or the adulation. She does it in private. She's happy when the things happen, but when it comes to the public, being put in that spotlight, she's not one that jumps in that spotlight. She'll even, if you see her in a picture, she's kind of like, I'm not doing this right now.
Her famous words are, "Right on, team."
That's it. That's it. So I just wanted to be understood, because even if she doesn't want to be out there, I'm putting you out there, girl. Kerry's a rock, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people try to give Kerry a bad rap, you know, because again, it's different when you're, you know, not black, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, and you're trying to help the community and all these communities of color do something by keeping that torch lit. You know, there was a hard transition between Third Eye, where it was, what happened with the change of hands, as far as, like, you know, Ben leaving, and then it becoming, you know, there was a transitional period of, you know, Jinder Barrows held it down the best she could. Jay Lynn held it down the best she could, but it just took more pieces. You know, it took more about the community actually giving a shit, frankly, about something that's been in this community for 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I saw the effect that it had on my wife. I'm not a lifelong Third Eye or a lifelong New Bedford person, but I saw something that, you know, it meant to my wife, and how it, you know, turned to a woman that I love. You know what I'm saying? It gave her it's instilled some of the characteristics in her to this day that I love about her. So to me, it was just like, you know, just picking up the torch and doing what I can. In the beginning, I was just a quiet guy at the table. I felt like I was too street to speak and all of that good stuff. And then it helped me make the turn, man, having that responsibility of the community back in my hands from where I was, as far as, like, you know, I was playing the hood games and the good games at the same time, and I had to I had to choose, you know what I'm saying? And I finally chose. So again, like, we might not be from here, but we love this place. You know what I'm saying? We love New Bedford. That's why you can know that we love New Bedford, because we have homes here. You feel what I'm saying? Like, our roots are set here. We're watering our lives here. You understand what I'm saying? So no matter what the perspectives are, we're here. We're New Bedford. You know what I'm saying? We are New Bedford, and you're New Bedford. And that's what it's all about. So let's make sure we celebrate that. Go ahead, Ty. Let me just fix my screen in the back real quick.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got some of that housekeeping out of the way. I'm trying to think. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, and by the way, that next Friday, there's going to be a huge premiere, video premiere that Friday. So you definitely want to tune in. You don't want to miss out, and you'll get to see something really special that we got to put together that kind of embodies every aspect of the city, and just bringing it together. Again, we're not from here, but we love every aspect of the city, and we wanted to make sure that we showcased it some way in this video, and give people a real view of what your New Bedford is, right? Because we want to take this and we want to be able to rebrand New Bedford. We want to be able to push New Bedford to a new height that it never has experienced before, or it actually has in the past, right? It's been the number one city, but we need to get back there. We need to show people that we have progressed, we've advanced, we've changed, and we're ready to globalize. We're ready to be a part of the international economy, art sphere, all that good stuff. So let's hop into. You want to hop into some topics?
Yeah, let me touch on that real quick. So we provide content all the way up and down the content, the rating scale, except for that triple X shit. But anyway,
right.
So with that being said, you know, we do a lot of stuff in the community. Absolutely. What I ask people, anybody who's tuned in or tuning in to these podcasts, the Dinner Club podcast, leave your judgment at home. We're adults. This is an adult platform. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna swear. We're gonna curse. If you act like you're an adult that doesn't do that, that's fine. That's your life. That's your choice. That's still, just because I swear a little bit or I have a little bit of fun on here doesn't mean that I don't care. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop helping these kids. I mean, sometimes, to be honest with you, and I keep trying to explain this to people, like, it might not be wise for you, if you're not a person of color, to be like, hey, kid, cut that shit. But in my community, dealing with me, especially like me when I was coming up, in a lot of these experiences, it's not the same for all kids, but some of the most toughest cases only respond when you get at them a little bit. So, like, I've really told kids to chill the fuck out. Like, if they need to be told, chill the fuck out. And if it made them chill the fuck out, don't complain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, appreciate the fact somebody's gonna, take that challenge on, because what happens is people have the intent to help, but then they see that shit's hard. It's not easy. The harder the case, the harder it is to transition them. And then they give up and they just go for the easy kids. And a lot of times I see these programs filled with kids that don't need it. They don't need it. They're not the kids that we actually need to be servicing. They're being put under this idea of at risk, which is completely insulting. You shouldn't even help them identify themselves as at risk. You know what I'm saying? You should help them identify themselves as beyond risk. You know what I'm saying? And help them see something beyond that. So we got to stop labeling these kids. But, again, this is an adult platform. We're going to have fun here. And when my man's is saying, we are New Bedford, what I'm interpreting it as is, stop fucking talking about us not being from New Bedford. The only reason you're talking about us not being from New Bedford is because we're doing mad shit here. So get over yourselves.
Right.
Like, if you want to be a part of the solution, come sit at the table. It's an open table for everybody. And I'm actually going to be realistic here. I'm not fucking with the people who are from here that don't do shit. You just talk shit. Stop talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come sit at the table. There's space. There's opportunity. We need you at the end of the day. But I'm going to talk to you like an adult. This is an adult platform. Stop being a fucking baby and come sit at the table and stop complaining about us not being from here being effective. That shit's old and it's played out. But go ahead. Carry on, my brother.
Right. So now, talking about not giving a shit, right? I want to talk about this 5-year-old boy who got pulled over in Utah. While what he said was he was driving to California to buy a Lamborghini.
My man's ain't playing.
He said, yo, moms, I need that car. Mom was like, nah. He said, then I'm out. So 5 years old, he went ahead and decided he was going to go ahead and take the trip. And he got pulled over and had a transaction with an officer. And the officer had to explain to him some facts of life about how money works and everything, but it was pretty entertaining. So we're gonna
this
go
is
ahead.
hilarious. Let me bring this up for you guys. This is this kid wants all the smoke.
He was gutsy. I can't even knock him.
5-year-old boy was pulled over in Utah on his way to California to try to buy a Lamborghini, bro. He was trying to live that Lambo life. I woke up in my new Bugatti. Hey, he's not playing.
Yeah.
Let's play this video real quick and check this out, man. Wow.
My man's wilding. He knew to pull over, though.
He got his foot on the brake and everything. He chilling. Wow.
Yeah, $3.
Wow. Wow.
Now was like, yo, I'm you know what? I'm not even mad, but I'm mad. Like he knew to pull over, right? When the lights flash, he knew to pull over. He used like it looked like he used his blinker. He kept his foot on the brake. Like I'm like this guy drives better than some adults.
That boy, he said he was sitting on the front edge of the seat so that he could reach the brake pedal and to keep the car stopped while I was standing there. Wow.
Like, consider it like what?
Wow. He says drives better than older people. Facts, Justin.
Exactly.
That boy got skills.
He was ambitious. I mean,
my man said, I got $3. Let's make a deal. He wasn't even gonna get a cup holder in that motherfucker with $3. Damn, son. Yo, shout out the youth though, man. Ambition's real, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. I tell you what they learned. They learned that shit from GTA. He was like, I can figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. You know what I'm saying? These games, man, the simulations is super real now, man. So
exactly,
this is what we're gonna be getting.
And you know what I saw? I saw adults on like some adults were like, oh, this is horrible that he's so materialistic at such a young age and blah, 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 blah. And then I saw some adults that were like, wow, at 5, he has goals. And in order for him, you got to think, in order for him to be able to buy that Lamborghini, like the officer explained, like you probably need about $200,000, not $3. But the young man now is like, okay, well, I have to work in order to get that, right? He has a long-term goal at 5, and now he's like, I have to work to accomplish that. So we have to figure out how to not just look at the situation, but reframe it so that way it's positive for this young man instead of negative, right? Too many adults just were hating on him, like, oh, he's materialistic. His parents are horrible.
Listen, that kid's my hero, son. And let's be realistic. Like, take the materialism out of it. What kid doesn't like a cool looking car?
Right.
It's the look. You know what I'm saying? It's not about he didn't even understand the concept of materialism. He had $3, you dickheads.
Right, exactly. He was like, I got 3. Like, that should be good, right?
He thought he was gonna be straight. He didn't even have no money for gas. He was out. He was out, bro. He was gonna pull up to the gas station like, can we make I got 25 cents, bro. Like, I need to at least get there with 275, nigga. Like, shout out my man, yo. Shout out that little guy, man. He was trying to hold it down. That's my hero, son. He got 3 on it.
Right.
Mike, you crazy.
Yo, I'm telling you.
Man. Listen, man.
So listen, I mean, so again, just reframe it. And God bless that young man, his family, all that stuff. I'm glad no one was hurt. Like, ultimately, I'm glad no one was hurt, and I'm glad that he was able to control the vehicle. And the officer was, just so kind-hearted in dealing with the kid, and hopefully pointing him in the right direction, right? So we see respect right there. And now I want to talk about, we need to respect the park rangers, right? And in this instance, there was an extreme disrespect for park rangers, because a ranger got pushed into a lake after addressing some people about not social distancing. And so we want to take a look at that and see the video that's going on with the park ranger getting pushed into the lake and what happened with that situation.
Son,
he need to run away.
Son, y'all gotta chill.
Doing his job. He wasn't flexing. He just said, "Hey, can you guys disperse? Not social distancing," and they get pushed. I want to say something to Ranger Andy right now. Nobody's doing that to Andy. We got Andy's back.
Listen.
We got Andy's back.
Don't mess with none of my park rangers out here. Don't mess with Niche. Don't mess with none of them. Don't mess with Jen White. Don't mess with none of them. You're gonna catch these hands. I promise you. They listen. That guy was a brother approach. I mean, he was a class act right there. He was like, you know what, man? You pushed me in here. He didn't even throw a tantrum or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna whoop your ass. Don't touch Andy. Don't touch none of them. Roof 5. Leave them all alone. Leave all our rangers alone. You know, it's crazy because, like, you know, most of downtown out here, what is it, 33 acres or something like that?
Yeah,
That's
something.
historical historical land out here. So don't touch my Rangers. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, first off, people don't understand the hard process it is to become a Ranger. A lot of people have to, you know, volunteer for years, you know what I'm saying, and show the dedication just to get that federal job, you know what I'm saying? And it's a federal job, so the application process is extremely extensive. So again, man, like, don't be playing around with these Rangers because, you know, honestly, actually, that was a federal offense.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Now, if you really think about it, that's a federal offense. You just assaulted a federal employee by pushing them into the water.
It says it right here. Let me pull it right back up.
Bang, bang.
My man Brandon Hicks faces a 25 faces the charge of attempted assault on the public servant, a state jail felony. Woo! All right, there you go. You want to be a numbnut?
Exactly. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yep. Listen, man, people gotta chill, man. People gotta chill, man. That's crazy. I don't even know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just letting y'all know, like, y'all better leave all my peoples alone. I be telling my people all the time, like, one of my main things, like, I have changed. I have, you know, changed, absolutely. But I believe the village always needs warriors. Right. I believe the sign makers always need bodyguards. You know what I'm saying? So, like, y'all can make signs and shit all y'all want. But when it comes down and ready to hit somebody in the fucking head, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody throw a rock at y'all, I'm fighting back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all about being Martin until I catch a rock, nigga. Then it's going down. You know what I'm saying? Or you catch a rock. You know what I mean? So
exactly. And I mean, and you got to think, these Rangers are out there in nature. And right now, we know something crazy is going on in nature. We got the murder hornets out here, right?
Oh, no.
So you got to give them double respect. So right now, I just want to say, you know, RIP to Ratatouille in this video. And the murder hornet just said, "Are we done or are we finished, bro? Are we done or are we finished?"
Hold on, let me.
So let's talk about this. The attack of the murder hornet.
Let me let y'all understand something real quick. Now, like, the same way I just said that if some person does some shit, I'm with the shits 100%.
Right.
But bugs and viruses, I ain't with the shits, bro. I'm not with the shits. All right.
So that's where I draw the line.
When people say that to play those what if games, like, what if you got trapped in a room with a tarantula? I'm knocking myself the fuck out. I don't even want to know what happens. I don't even want to know. I don't want to be there for that. I don't want to experience it. I don't want to think about it. Like, if it's me, tarantula in the door, oh, nigga, I'm going out. I'm running the other way right into the wall, knocking myself out. Do what you will with me. Now, if it's me, a person in the way in the door, I'm whooping that ass. Like, humans, I can deal with all day, but bugs, nah, bro. But listen, just be warned. This is crazy. Like, y'all think these hornets is a game? They out here killing our Project Rat. Sunday ain't playing out here. Splinter just got his ass whooped by a hornet. All right, here we go, people.
Serum gonna help you.
Like, bro,
they're straight scuffling right now,
bro. He got him in a headlock.
Right.
He's got him. He got the mount. He took his back. He's on the mount.
Yep.
He's going for the rear naked choke right there.
Jesus. It's a leg lock.
Shout out to the guy who caught this on camera. Like, he's just chilling.
He's brave too.
Look at this damn mouse is getting its ass whooped right now. He's stinging him several times.
Right.
They release a neurotoxin. And then he's looking. Oh, this is the part where I get squeamish. Oh, he's got his mandibles in his grill. No, no, nigga, no.
He said, "Are we done or we finished?"
Oh, bro.
And then he took off.
Whoa, bro.
And then he took. So this is what I'm saying. The dude is mad brave for filming this because that hornet is in fight mode right now, and you're getting that close.
Whoa, bro. That wasn't even a fight, bro. Look at the mouse, bro.
Slaughter.
Son. Look at the ant down there. That ant's like, yo, bro, you all right?
You're right. The ant's like, better you than me.
Damn, son. Renee, you're not alone. Oh, I get the heebie-jeebies.
Oh my goodness.
Fucking hornet is a killer. Yo, it wasn't even for food. He just murdered that man.
Yeah, he didn't want nothing from him but him gone. That's it.
Bro, I'm so glad nobody said it. Yo, he just murdered Mickey, son. He just murdered Mickey, bro.
I feel horrible.
Oh,
I feel horrible.
God.
Wait. Do you have that picture of Macaulay that I sent you earlier?
Oh,
Can you pull that
let
up?
me find that one. Oh,
you pull
man.
that up? This is gonna be a throwback for some of y'all. And
he murdered that man.
Some of you youngins might not get this.
I was like, yo, because like when they were saying that they was killing the bees and all that stuff, I was like, well, that's really hunting. Why they call them murder ants? I know now. I know why.
Sheesh. Like that.
Sheesh.
He said, "Are we done or are we finished?"
Sheesh.
What are you doing?
I'm hurting right now. I can't even lie to y'all. I got the heebie-jeebies, man. I'm telling you. But yo, listen, let me tell you something. Hood dudes can act as hood as they want. We are not dealing with no kind of bugs. Believe it.
No, sir.
Believe it. Hold on, let me see. Where is that? There it is. Shit.
Oh my goodness.
Did somebody say murder horn? Yo, you know what's messed up? I can't even I feel bad because I actually laughed at this movie, dog. I was a horrible kid. I was a horrible kid. Like I laughed at Bambi. Like I was fucked up. I think the only motherfucker I even I didn't even laugh, but I didn't cry either. I just paused when Mufasa died. I was like, yo, son.
That's the only one that kind of like, oh.
I was like, damn, he just threw him down there like that, bro. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because with that, it was more about the brother it was like the brother to the brother tossing you. I'm like, damn, you did that.
Yeah, like you did your brother's son.
Other son, like, dang, and you got a nephew? You got a nephew out here?
I think that movie was when I first learned that you can actually, because I was young when that movie came out with Macaulay Culkin, and I think that was the first time I learned you can actually die from bees. I was like, nigga, what?
Yeah, right. It was like he got killed by a bee, and then over the ring. Remember that? It was over him trying to go and get her ring after she kind of dissed dude. Like
I was too young to understand. I watched it when I was older, and then I felt a little like, oh, damn, son. Damn. But when I was young, I was like, dang, he got killed over a fucking ring, bro. Like, you stupid, bro.
So now, question: which one are you taking? If you only could choose one, are you taking the murder hornets or COVID? Which one are you getting?
Oh, nigga, what are you talking? Don't ask me that shit. Oh shit. I'm not in. I got nothing to do with that. I don't want no part of that. I don't want no part of none of that shit. All right. No. Damn, if I gotta take one of those, bro, I just might as well take a bust to the face, bro. Like fuck it. My man Mike said he's taking the Hornets. What about you people out there? Would you take the murder hornets or would you take COVID, son?
Yeah, let me
I mean, shit. I think depending on the situation, COVID got a higher survival rate.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If they swarm you, now shit. I've never and so here's something. I've never been stung by anything in my life.
I got stung by a bee before. It's funny too. I got stung during a baseball game at that. You know what I'm saying? Was playing baseball. I was a lefty pitcher. You know what I'm saying? I was up there winding up. And then that shit went into the stands because that shit stung me right in the earlobe, son.
Damn.
That was the only time I ever got stung by anything. You know what I'm saying? Except for these mosquitoes, them niggas don't play. I mean, they don't really sting you, but they definitely get you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah, I'm not. Nope. I can't choose between neither one. I choose to jump off a bridge. Like I'm straight. Nah, son. Dang. Nah, I couldn't even take on one hornet, not even one. Like one. Bro, I'm straight. 2-inch big ass bugs, I'm straight, bro. When I went down to Florida, my very first time, you know what I'm saying? When I went down there, I was like, what the fuck is that on the wall? And it was a gecko. I was like, no! No!
You thought you was gonna lose it right there, huh?
Bro, I thought it was over. Like, I was pretty certain it was over. You know what I'm saying? The viewers, what would you rather take, COVID or more murder hornets?
Now, so
murder.
Now, what's crazy? Now, funny story about going to Florida with like lizards and stuff. So we went down to Disney World with Kingston, and you know the family, in-laws, all that, and so Kingston wanted to catch the lizard so bad that there came a moment where I didn't know whether to be angry, sad, or impressed. He took a rock and was able to throw a rock to hit the lizard in order to catch it. So
that was impressive.
He well, you know, the part where I was like, oh, was when I found out it didn't make it. like he straight whoop. I was like,
he got that Neanderthal in his. You know what I mean?
I was like, how did you that much power and accuracy?
You heard African drums or some shit.
I was like, I'm impressed and sad at the same time. Yeah,
he hit him with the ancestor.com. That's crazy. Wow, bro. Damn. All right, King. He took that name literal, like, I am the king.
I am the king.
I am the king.
That's it. So I mean, he tried it, but now he's pushing to get he wants to get a chameleon now. So we're in talks. He's negotiating. All right, negotiating. So
nah, you know, nah, son.
I had an iguana growing up, so
nah, son. Nah, I was a project booger. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I was so project. We all had the same cat in the neighborhood. There was always that one black cat. Every hood got a black cat. We all shared that cat. It was called Midnight in every hood. Every hood, we all shared that cat. Man,
it was the same cat. Just
the same roaming. Cat. He was just roaming from hood to hood. Like, nah, son.
Oh, you take we got one for COVID right there. I would take COVID.
Nah, son. Neither.
No, you gotta pick one.
I told you I take a bust to the face. I catch a greyhound or let the greyhound catch me. Fuck that shit. I'll go to war. You could draft me, son. You can literally draft me. Yo, you know what's fucked up though? I was all ready, right? Nigga, till they told me about camel spiders. I was like, yeah, nah, fuck that. I'm good.
Then you was out?
I'm out.
Then you wouldn't like the scorpion. You would have hated the scorpion.
Scorpions, it's kind of weird. I'm kind of like not tripping about scorpions. It's something about like spiders. I don't have arachnophobia because I'm cool with like the little spiders in the yard and shit or around the house. Mia called. Yeah, I remember when Mia first was calling me to get the spiders and shit. Now this girl has seen me fight through like, you know what I mean, a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? And then she hit me up like, and I seen one spider one time. I was like, man, I don't know what the fuck that is. Nah, go get the vacuum.
He said, that's all you.
I got the vacuum. I got the long extension. I was like, yeah, that is
the extendo.
You know what I mean?
Like, hit him with the extendo.
I gotta pick one. Nah, bus. I picked bus. My man said COVID too. I don't know, nigga, because I got asthma and shit, so I don't think I'm gonna make it from either one of them shits.
Right, because you would definitely go into anaphylactic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm dead, nigga. Why y'all trying to kill me?
Yo, you would be Macaulay out there in the woods. If I could pick, trying to catch the ring.
Now, if both are gonna kill me, at least let me pick the way I go out.
Right,
and I'll just take this bus, nigga. Like I'm straight. Hell yeah, I had that go-go gadget vacuum on God.
Yo,
God, it was not a game. In Arizona, Texas, giant. But listen, when I found out about Puerto Rico and his big ass flying cockroaches, I said, nah, I'm good.
No. You said paradise for who?
Nah, not me. No. Listen, I went to Africa as a kid, on a trip with the church. When I tell you that officially Africa, I when I came back, I call Africa 2.0. Because everything, like when I was growing up, I learned that chickens killed ants. Until I went to Africa and saw ants kill chickens.
Yep.
Okay, they like literally took over. First off, the ant hills were like the size of me, the ant mounds.
Yep.
And they literally were fucking gigantic ants, right? And this chicken went over there and thought it was gonna peck a couple of them, right? Like he was like, okay, I'm gonna go over there. And like literally, they like had a highway, bro. It was like a highway of like ants, you know what I'm saying? And he went over there and pecked a couple of them, and they figured out what was going on, and he just got swarmed, bro. And literally, they like ate him up. I'm talking, this is in minutes. Like stripped him down, you know what I'm saying? And then was dragging him away.
Like you are now.
Like that. Never seen no shit like that in my life.
You come with me.
Yeah, Belize, you can keep. I'm a city boy. As New Bedford is as rural as it's gonna get from me.
Dang.
Renee, you. Well, actually, nah. You know what? I'll take the Hornet.
Yeah,
I'll take the Hornet. You know why? Because I be having mad fun with them electric zappers. I have 2 of them shit.
So you talking about
some of this?
Bring weapons up in there. Okay,
I'm out here. I'll take the Hornet. I'll pick one. I'll take the Hornet. Now, if the Hornet stings me, son, I might regret it.
You blaming us. He said, I'm blaming y'all.
I'm definitely taking the 100. I picked roaches off my cereal as a kid in Methuen and Lawrence. You think I'd be good with bug stuff for 3-foot-long sewer rats, but nah, bro. I squashed them all. Yeah, nah, I'm good. Nigga, we had rats. We had rats so big in the projects, we caught them shits crats because them shits was chasing cats. Them shits was chasing cats, nigga. I literally would see cats hissing and running from the rats. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had real life splinters out there fighting for their territory and shit. So rats, I'm even cool with. You know what I'm saying? But like, bugs, nah, son. But if I had to pick, because I don't want nothing to do with this COVID shit. They don't know enough about COVID. At least we know something about these hornets. I want nothing to do with COVID. I don't want COVID toes. I don't want COVID coughs. I don't want nothing to do with COVID. Nothing.
All right. Okay. So we got his final answer as the murder hornets, and mine is I'll take the COVID. Because I've never been stung. I don't know what would happen to me.
Damn, this motherfucker said the rats chewed through the wooden bulkhead to get to his cats. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, shit's real out here. Shit. Yo, rats have literally gotten to the point where cats ain't fucking with them. Because we've overly domesticated house cats.
Right. They're too comfortable.
They're way too comfortable. These ain't farm cats. These are, little prissy cats like, in the commercials and shit. Meow. Meow.
It's Baxter.
All right, these shits ain't Stu a little no more. They Stu a Debo.
Yeah, they've been working out.
Except for that one that just got killed by that murder hornet. That motherfucker.
He was weak still.
He was weak, son. He didn't get through the training regimen or something because he got taken out. That shit was drastic.
So speaking of getting taken out, oh man, we gotta hop into something a little serious. We got a murder suicide of a professor who was studying COVID-19. So when we say, hey, we got to pick one, well, he didn't get to pick. Someone picked it for him. So let's dive into a little bit of the seriousness in the article and just see what this was with this young man, murder suicide situation. And it just so happened he was in the middle of studying about the COVID-19. And you scroll on down.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. So, a University of Pittsburgh professor on the verge of making very significant findings researching COVID-19, according to the university, was shot and killed in an apparent murder-suicide over the weekend, police said. The research assistant professor, identified as Beng Lu, I think I'm going to say that's how it is, was found in his townhouse Saturday with the gunshot wounds to the head, neck, and torso. Woo! And extremities. God damn, wait, what? Right. All right. According to the Roster Police Department, investigators believe an unidentified second man who was found dead in his car shot and killed Liu in his home before returning to his car and taking his own life. Police believe the men knew each other, but say there is zero indication that there was targeting due to his being Chinese, according to Detective Sergeant Brian Kolep. I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce it. The university issued a statement saying it is deeply saddened by the tragic death of Beng Lu, a prolific researcher and my colleague at Pitt. The university extends our deepest sympathies to the new family, friends, and colleagues during this difficult time. Beng was on the verge of making a very significant finding towards understanding the cellular mechanisms that underlie SARS-CoV-2 infection and the cellular basis of the following complications. His colleague at the University Department of Computational Systems Biology said. Members of the University School of Medicine described their former colleague as an outstanding researcher and mentor, and have pledged to complete Lu's research in an effort to pay homage to his scientific excellence.
Yeah,
damn, man,
that's unfortunate and on so many levels. I'm hoping they find out a little bit more. And yep, Mike is right there with it. I said, let the conspiracy theories fly, folks, because that is extremely coincidental for them to say. It has nothing to do with him being Chinese. He just happened to be studying this, and then they haven't released any other connection between him and this guy who murdered him. And you hear the way that he got murdered. That's not just random. Like you went in. You did multiple shots in multiple areas.
So
and then took your own life.
This is where it gets tricky with writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I comprehended a little bit differently, and this is where I hate to sound like fucking Trump, but it felt fake news, and I'm gonna tell you why. because a hit is a hit. Usually a professional hit, you're not getting shot that many times, etc.
Right, exactly.
That felt more like a crime of passion, and it just so happens that he's Chinese, and it just so happens that he's working on COVID, and they use that to sensationalize the story to get you to read it. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong.
Question, because again, I said let the conspiracy theories fly. What if, because we're familiar with how hits are done, what if it was done that way on purpose? Like, and hear me out on this. Remember in Black Panther where he let the dude run off and then he shot him and he said, "Why didn't you kill him here?" He said, "Spread the scene to make it look like amateurs did it." So is that, I mean, obviously it's a possibility, but given the connection to COVID, given the connection of his lineage, like, is that plausible? It does sound like it was personal. When I read it, I was like, oh, it might have been a love triangle type of thing, maybe someone crime of passion, but you know, what are we making of this? And is media now taking anything related to COVID and trying to make it a conspiracy?
I think and again, everybody's welcome to their own interpretation of it. I think that we are in a place now where, man, it just negativity sells so much now that all of our news things are turning into tabloids. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to, really be able to discern this stuff with CNN, because like it's just tough, man. Because they on one hand they tell you to panic and be safe and all this other stuff, and then the other hand they had their reporter who was sick with it but looked like he was fine, and
right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what to think about a lot of this anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? For me, I'm just erring on the side of playing it safe, but and even to say that he was on the cusp of,
something, you're right
to say that, you know what I mean? Like, what was it? Extrapolate. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Break that down, unpack that. Because to say that you're understanding something about the cellular mechanism is, well, that's where everybody's at right now. Everybody's at that point where you're trying to understand the cellular mechanisms and be able to stop it. So, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I mean, I think it's crazy. I just think it makes a headline because he was researching COVID. You know what I mean? Like you said, I think it's COVID related. It's going to make a headline now. You know what I mean? It's pretty tough.
Okay. All right. And so now there's some interesting research that came up from MSN, and it's saying that scientists are actually concluding that people cannot get COVID twice. Now, we've already heard, though, that people have gotten it twice. So is this research accurate? Is it to make us feel more comfortable? Is it because everyone's trying to push for this reopening? Or, I mean, is it legit? Is it legit that, scientists are now saying, oh, no, you can't get it twice, and were the other scientists just wrong before? Or the other patients that they said got it twice, were they just misdiagnosed and being blamed a second time on COVID? Do we know?
Here's my thing with this idea that you can't catch it twice. Maybe it's possible that if you grow the antibodies, you can't catch the one strain twice, but there's multiple strains at this point. I'm going to pull up the article that you just sent me about that just so we can show it real quick. And then, interestingly enough, as we got on this topic, my man Justin just sent over an article from Channel 5 that was reported about a mutated strain of coronavirus going throughout the world. That's even more, and it was actually reported today. So we'll look into that in a second. But let me pull up this first one so we can check this one out. Because, you can catch the flu more than once. So I'm not really too keen on saying that you can't catch this more than once, because I don't know what that actually entails. If you can catch a cold more than once, coronaviruses are common colds, and you can catch that more than once. So I'm not really understanding where they get that idea from. But a number of reported cases of coronavirus patients relapsing after overcoming the disease were actually due to testing failures, South Korean scientists said. Yeah, see, like, things are getting real tricky because, like, again, and some people have to understand that it's going to seem like this because a lot of this is new. And when things are new, it's only May, people. And we really got relatively information about this in January to the general public, November from when they say it actually first popped up. But really, that's 6-7 months max. You know what I'm saying? To be understanding something that's completely changing the way we deal with each other. And there's so many different varying forms of information out there. It's really tough to discern all of this stuff right now. This is why I'm just always erring on the side of just trying to stay safe. You know what I'm saying? Because, there's faulty tests. There's, people are saying that China's trying to change the narrative of how they look. That's why they're sending out all these masks and stuff for free because, they're trying to distract from the fact that it could have came from a lab mishap or, the fact, even if it didn't, let's take the lab mishap out. The wet markets, if this is actually something that keeps coming from these wet markets, that's bad enough too. You know what I'm saying? That's just a different lab. You know what I mean? It's just a different kind of lab. So again, I'm not, knocking, Chinese people at all or anything like that. I don't like to knock anybody's traditions, but we do have to think about health and sanitation if it can affect the globe. You know what I mean? We have a responsibility to each other as international neighbors, but you can have a negative positive, but not a positive negative. Yeah, I don't know. It's yes, you can have a positive negative because you can be tested and to say you're positive and you actually don't have it. So yes, that can happen because they've had tests. They've already said it that they've had. Positive. That's what this is basically. That's what a positive negative is, a false positive. So yeah, that can happen. Let me pull up this report Justin just sent over. Okay. Because that was pretty interesting. So today they report WCVB Channel 5 put out an article on their website. Shout out Justin, we appreciate that information. Again, we always encourage people to send stuff over if it's in line with what we're talking about or something that we're dealing with. We'll definitely pull that up for you. Yep. Looks like a study: mutated strain of coronavirus is more contagious, has spread throughout the world. So we're in a different ballpark now, people, with some of this stuff. And this is what we're not. Here's the thing about mutations, from my understanding of mutations. Once it mutates, you need a whole different kind of culture or vaccine for that mutation. Right. And we don't have one as is. A lot of people think that we're going to have a vaccine, and I'm trying to understand where this conversation is coming from because we don't have a vaccine for MERS or SARS-CoV-1. So what is this idea that we're going to miraculously
get one,
find a vaccine so quick? This is where it feeds into some of the narrative about the Bill Gates stuff. But I also wonder about the science behind nanotechnology and how that can help with viruses.
Right. Okay.
If you're talking about something down to the, smallest form, like a micron, a half a micron, that's robotic in itself, then that technically should be able to identify
and then destroy
and mitigate it. Yeah. Mitigate and destroy virus cells. But, who knows, man? I don't know where we are in this game right now. We really are in real life Black Mirror, Twilight Zone type shit. So,
and this is going to be a callback. You remember the Magic School Bus?
Yes.
So, like, there was an episode about like viruses and things like that, and they shrunk the Magic School Bus to go in there and kind of like research and do all that. Like, that is what I think about when I think of nanotech. So I'm always like, dang, is that what's actually possible and can happen and all of that? So it's very interesting to see that we're at that time now from like a kid show that I remember watching. You know what I mean? Oh, with Mrs. Frizzle and all of that. So let us know what you think. Like, do you think nanotech is going to be the next direction? Do you think that there is that mutated strain out there that we're never going to get a handle on, and that we're going to end up in the same situation as MERS and all that? Let us know what direction do you think we're taking. Again, we're all playing the best guess at this point, much like the scientists are, much like the doctors are. Everyone's playing best guess at this point about what the future holds for something like this, that's hit in a way that many of these other viruses that we don't have a vaccine for, that we don't have treatment for, particularly, haven't hit like this. You know what I mean? And that's another strange thing to me about how this is happening, is that with the other ones that we don't have anything for, they didn't hit like this. So this is completely new.
I think that, and this is just a theory of mine, I think that's a part of the reason why China was trying to clean it up without anybody knowing, because you've already had a few cases pop up from their area, and they were getting that stigma already that like this is the melting pot of disease. Even the fucking hornets are coming from over there. So you know what I'm saying? So like, I think that was part of the reason of trying to cover it up. But in doing so, you just made the situation worse nationally. You know what I'm saying? Internationally. So I don't know, man. We got to be careful, man. Like, we're in a very, very precarious time. Again, I keep telling people, like, mask up. If you have a cloth mask, please try to understand that the cloth is only a certain level of effectiveness. If you can smell aromas and scents through that mask, then that mask is not really being that effective in the process of protecting you from aerosolized particles in the air. So you might want to consider, getting a filter pocket on your mask for your cloth mask. It's very important. Again, and even then, it's not absolutely effective. To be honest with you, like we have some of the most effective masks ourselves in our personal lives, as far as the 3M mask with the P100 filters. I literally can't even smell my own breath in that damn mask. It filters shit in it. You know what I mean? So, and it covers your mouth and your face completely. And honestly, it's such a snug, insulated area that it's its own environment, so you're not really that hot. You don't feel, it doesn't feel that uncomfortable. It's just its own fresh air space. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a chance, try to find some. If you're in the New Bedford area or anywhere in the greater New Bedford area, I would suggest that you try to get over to Ace Hardware on Dartmouth Street in Dartmouth. It's the only place that I've seen those masks. We got them initially months ago when this first started, when we first got word. We got those masks there, and still to this day, they have masks there. I don't know how long that supply is going to last. I don't know who their plug is, but I do know that they have those masks, and I do know that it's detrimental to feeling comfort, a certain sense of comfort. Like when you guys saw me at the beginning of the show, I came in running from outside, but I had that mask on. I literally feel virtually invincible with that mask because there's nothing, I have no concern about the outside air, you know what I mean, at all. And then, you know, as far as like sanitizer, if you head over, I've seen that sanitizers are starting to hit the shelves again, but if you head over to Ocean State Job Lot, they have these really huge tubs of sanitizer you can grab. So you definitely want to go grab one of those. Lysol's coming in and out, you know what I mean? Like you can't even get Lysol on the internet still, so that's pretty tough. But again, sanitizer, and more than anything, you know, soap and water. You can I've been explaining to people, you can carry, if you don't have any sanitizer and you're traveling in your vehicle, or even if you're traveling on your person, you can get a water bottle, fill it with some tap water, and then have antibacterial soap in your bag, lather up, and then pour the water on your hands to rinse, and have a towel in the bag and wipe that off, or have a thing of paper towels in your bag and throw the paper towel out in the trash appropriately, or keep a plastic bag with you and put it inside that plastic bag and tie it up. There's ways to really think logically about how to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And what frightens me all the time is I'm not the guy in the picture of Tyson's background there. I'm not Einstein. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm able to discern ways to work around all of this stuff and stay healthy. I do all of the shopping for the family. I go out and do all of the stuff that we're doing in the community right now. Me and Tyson meet up. We take calculated risks, but we understand that our calculation, we're about at 99.9% protected. You know what I mean? Because of the protocols that we're utilizing to take care of each other and make sure each other are good. So just be smart, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I pulled up to our grandparents' house the other day, and literally they were on the porch, and we went in the car. We just want them to see their granddaughter and, you know, see their great granddaughter. I mean, their granddaughter and their great granddaughter. We want them to see them and, you know, just talk from the porch, you know what I mean? And, you know, we communicated. It was good to see everybody, and then we kept it moving. I suggested before, if you're in a store shopping and you see somebody, you know, give them a virtual hug through calling them on the phone while you're in the store. Give them a virtual hug. I put the phone in my chest. You feel it? Okay, that's the love. You know what I'm saying? You can still talk to those people while you're in the store. You know what I mean? I think that we literally have to be thankful for the technology that we have and start letting the technology, you know, beget a lot of our fears. You know what I'm saying? And feed into a lot of our biases. Try to remain calm and try to understand that it's okay to not know what's going on, but knowing that there are ways to protect yourself from a virus. It doesn't matter if this was SARS or if it was Ebola or whatever. We should be taking the same measures, essentially. You know, Ebola is a little tougher, but essentially to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And sanitize our hands. And, you know, right now, today is the day that they decided that we're going to have to wear these masks. We'll get into that later. But again, like, just, you know, like I said, it's just a simple gesture of humanity. You know what I mean? Just to throw a mask on. I mean, you throw drawers on, right? You don't trip about that. Somebody told you had to wear drawers. Like, I don't see like hordes of people tripping about it. There's a few pantyless people that probably would trip, but you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day,
or clothes.
Clothes, period. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is just another article. You know what I mean? Be creative. You know, get some shit to match your outfits. Have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Wear your favorite characters. Have fun with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like, at the end of the day, don't allow yourself to turn into a insensitive prick about caring about other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to give a shit about anybody else's life, but you know, but I do. You know what I mean? It's just a commonality of it's what makes us human beings. You know what I mean? So let's just be careful about all of this stuff. All right.
Absolutely. All right. So here's something a little bit positive for New Bedford ports, right? You know, reigning defending champion of the #1 port, New Bedford, is the USDA agrees to spend $20 million with fisheries. So 20 million. And I want to put this in perspective because from the port, New Bedford gets between 10 and 14 million dollars a year. I mean, that pales in comparison to the approximate like billions that they make. But that's about what we get. So now in this wake of all this stuff happening, though, people have been going and buying direct from the ships, and from the fisheries and things like that, because they're not going to the middleman shops and getting great deals, right? And that's been helping keep the ports afloat. But now with this 20 million buy-in, I kind of have a question, since it's CARES Act money. Like, what does that do, or will do for the community of New Bedford? So those are some of my questions that are still lingering. Like, it's good. It's definitely good that the USDA is like, yo, we got a bag. We want to help you guys out. We want to buy some of that food. But now, are they buying that to give it out? Are they buying it to redistribute at lower cost? Or are they buying it to then turn around and profit off of? Or are they freezing it and going to wait this out? And what's going to happen there, right? So look at, I'm going to go, I can't see. Because I saw the there's a 9.5 billion section in there.
There it is.
Yep. So Massachusetts lawmakers wrote to the USDA to urge the inclusion of domestic and East Coast seafood companies in the $9.5 billion awarded by the CARES Act to help affected agricultural producers. And today they sent a celebratory press release. All right. I don't know if you can read that, Peter.
I am pleased to see that the USDA has finally recognized the important role of North Atlantic seafood plays in maintaining the nation's food supply, said Representative Keating. These purchases will not only help to support our fishing industry during these trying times, but will also provide highly nutritious, sustainable food for families in need across the nation. The Massachusetts delegation previously, I'm sorry, give me 1 second, guys, and scroll down, secured $300 million for the fishing industry, but that funding has yet to truly materialize. Moulton said he's proud of the money that the Congress negotiated in the CARES Act, but that it's up to the administration to get the money to the fishermen's docks. So here's the thing. All right, so here's the thing, people. Like, a lot of people are using the word bailout, and it's kind of hyperbolic at this point, because this is not the same thing as somebody being irresponsible with their finances. These industries are crashing, and if we let them completely crash, then how do we ever bring them back? Mm-hmm. The airline industry, everybody's, it's a fucking fire sale going on with stocks right now, right? But and the people who have the money can afford to do that because they can just buy them back later, as me and Tyson discussed before. But they can offload them right now. But then the general public starts following that move, and they start offloading their stocks. And by the time when it bounces back, it's going to come back so fast. It's going to be like an elastic. So you're not going to be able to get those stocks back. And that's going to be troublesome for a lot of people's finances.
Yeah. And wasn't it apparently Warren Buffett dumped all his airline?
He dumped them all. He dumped all of his stocks, all of them. Hold on, my man. He said, I hated my mask, but your voice range in my head about how susceptible anything airborne. So I wore my mask for you, bro. Thank you. You make me think and assess before I move on something. Yo,
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's just erring on the side of caution, bro. Like, regardless of whether or not I believe it, let's say I did believe that COVID's a hoax. Well, if I'm a gambling man and I'm looking at what I'm looking at, am I willing to bet against the house? Enough to not take precautions to make sure I don't lose my house in the process.
Right.
So that's the thing here. You know what I'm saying? If the buffer between losing to the house or losing my house is the mask, I'm just going to wear the mask. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of an inconvenience for me. You know what I mean? And I have asthma, you know what I'm saying? And I have allergies. This is a rough time of year for me. You know what I'm saying? I can say this much though. Like, I'm going to express this again. Like, wearing the cloth mask absolutely suck, bro. Like, I can't even lie to you. Like, my 3M mask is the shit, bro. Like, honestly, the 3M mask is actually, because of the way it's working, it's actually helped strengthen my lungs. I've actually been breathing better because I'm out and about walking around with that mask. It's like breathing at altitude almost. You know what I'm saying? Clean altitude air. I'm not getting all these emissions that I'm usually getting in, breathing all these toxins that I'm usually breathing in, just natural without COVID. So I've been doing pretty well as far as the asthma and stuff like that. The allergies are a whole nother monster. Them shits.
Right.
I turned 30 and they just started beating my ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm 35 now, so it's been 5 years of war with these allergies. And it's not cool at all. But but again, you know, just be careful. You know what I'm saying? Just err on the side of caution and err on the side of understanding that you can get sick, not realizing and get someone else sick. You know, my man, he posted it publicly, so I'll bring it up. My man, DJ EA Sports, man, his mom's an incredible woman. You know what I'm saying? She's raised incredible children. She's done a lot in the community. She's always been there. She's not one of those people that needed a program or an organization to be attached to understand back in the day, like it was just moms of the community. You know what I'm saying? That would be like, hey, I'm gonna kick your ass. It didn't matter if you were somebody else's kid or not. I'm gonna kick your ass. Get off that gate. I'm gonna tell your mama. I'm gonna get your grandma. I'm gonna get your uncles. All of that. She was one of those women. Is one of those women, and she's still here with us. But you know, she just recently was infected with COVID, and she never leaves the house. What happens is that people are walking around asymptomatic, and they come over and they don't take the proper precautions when they're out, and then they come in and they bring it into your home. So you got to be careful about visitors too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just tough right now. You know what I mean? It's tough, but it's not as tough as going to war. You know what I mean? So
put it in perspective.
Just please stop to put your life in a perspective. You're not being held up at a bank robbery right now. You don't literally have a gun in your head the way some people are trying to make it seem like, you know, yes, the mask ordinance is in place. And guess what? The most that you're going to get is a fine, and it could be multiple fines, but they're not threatening to throw you in prison. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the same thing. This is not martial law. You need to educate yourselves a little bit better on like what happens when martial law actually takes place. You don't have tanks on every corner and throwing you in the fucking vehicles and shit, and you're disappearing to black sites and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's start understanding that this is about the greater good. You know, as much as I can critique the government and everything and all of that good stuff, and I don't trust shit. I don't trust the government 100%.
Right.
But I do trust in the fact that I'm a businessman, and in this game of business, you need healthy people to be around to buy your products, to trade in your commerce and all that good stuff. So even if this is just a business decision to keep your ass alive, it's a smart decision. It's a smart business decision.
Right. Exactly.
So even if I'm looking at it from that perspective, you know what I mean? Like, just be smart about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to be, I don't know. Some people are saying that the vaccine is going to make Bill Gates richer than, you know, Microsoft did. I don't know. You know, maybe, you know, if it's a positive, maybe.
Right.
Nothing comes without risk in the science realm. So when people keep talking about things like it's not risky business, science is risky business. I mean, not for nothing, you know, they got a large atomic collider over there in Sweden. Underground, big ass tunnel goes under 3 different cities. It's so large, and they're just smashing atoms against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they found the Higgs boson and all these other elements. You know what I'm saying? That's how they found element 115, which was actually something that was talked about by Bob Lazar. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but they discovered an element so dense that it separates itself from gravity and its other shit. But I'm not even going to get into that, people.
Okay.
But again, you know, experimentation is risky business. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't know why people think we're all living in a ceramic bubble. We're not. You know what I'm saying? This shit is not a game. You know what I mean? It takes risk. It took somebody to cross the land in order for us to build and have California and Hollywood. It took people to traverse. And I think that we've been so far removed from that time, we're not understanding the multitude of sacrifices from every race and culture to exist in this kind of safe bullshit ass world that we live in right now. You know what I'm saying? We should be a little bit more appreciative of those sacrifices now.
And see, and that's my question. Because too many people want doctors and scientists to be exact and forget that there's an experiment and discovery process, research and development. And so are we in a phase where we're taking for granted everything that people had to go through in order for us to get here, just to have a shot to guess at things and still have a good probability to come out on top? You know, because you have people saying doctors are killers, doctors are murderers, and that doctor didn't get that diagnosis right. One number that got tossed out is there are 250,000 deaths per year that are due to doctor error or nurse error or medical error, right? But or hospitalized medical errors, but approximately 60 million people are hospitalized. That is 0.00045%.
Yeah.
So that means 99.9. What? Yeah, like rest of the time, people are fine.
You remember in school, like, you know, when people was always asking, like, when am I going to use this math? Right now. Right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you fucking knuckleheads. Right now. You know, figuring out the slope and shit right now. Right now. Lowering the curve. That's the shit you was doing in your TI-83, you jackasses. Right now.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just thankful that listen, English has always been my strong suit. I'm a hell of a writer, you know what I'm saying? Or an orator rather, you know what I'm saying? As I've gotten older, I've gotten kind of, I'm not gonna lie, the internet's made me a little bit lazier with my grammar. So I got my Grammarly team as far as Tyson and my wife Samia. But as far as like putting the vernacular together to get the message to sound, you know, like it hits you in the chest, I'm great at that. You know what I'm saying? But I kept enough of my math skills to be able to understand what the shit that they're talking about on TV. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is people get a fair understanding of something from a YouTube video, and they don't really understand what they're actually, you know, you got to think about all the outliers here. Let me give an example. My man, Justin, great question, Justin. Yeah. What do you think of them using this to microchip people? Okay. So here's my thing on that. Right. Okay. Two things. So what if I told you one day, because again, I think some of this is, we're at a paradox with technology right now. Right. And we're at a place where technology has advanced so much that what if I told you one day, and not make you, not force you, but I told you, yo, if you had this on you, I can literally tell like what's going on with you 24/7, da 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 da. I can see your heart attack coming way before it even happens. I can see the buildup happening in your arteries way before it happens, and I can do preventative maintenance. Is that not a good thing? Technology is about the hands, just like a gun. It's about whose hands it's in. But here's my other side to that. Everybody has a cell phone. We're all using devices right now. It's virtually no different than the microchip being in you and being outside of you. That's just my opinion on it. I'm not, you know, it's just my opinion on it. When it comes to facial recognition, everybody's face is on Facebook. Everybody, when it comes to people getting into your private life, you share your fucking private life every day. Facebook is a company that makes all of its money about people sharing their private lives all the time. There's no such thing. It's almost like a fad to think that people even have privacy. Even the people who swear to God that they're limiting what they're sharing on Facebook, but they're still inboxing people's shit, don't understand how servers work. Like, it's not right. Your shit is on a server farm somewhere. If you've never publicly posted a dick pic, you still privately had it stored in a server somewhere, whether it be from your cell phone, it be from any form of technology. You need to literally draw a dick pic, okay? You need to draw that shit or get yourself an old school Polaroid camera and mail that shit through the fucking mail system to avoid having this shit somewhere. And even then, they're scanning all the fucking mail. So mail is scanned in the USPS somewhere. This is just the reality of where we are with technology. Either we want fucking hoverboards or we don't. Either we want the Internet of Things or we don't. And that's a real quandrum. That's something that we actually have to figure out as a society, is how far do we want to go into the rabbit hole. But as far as microchips are concerned, we're already fucked. I got a smartwatch on. You know, that shit's getting me right now. I got a phone. I'm on the computer right now. My wife's got a phone. Literally, how do you think that, listen, without a microchip, they're able to tell you what the mitigation numbers are going to look like and might peak because they're paying attention to cell phone traffic. They're paying attention to where people are moving with their cell phones. That's a microchip, bro. It's your phone is full of microchips. You know what I mean? So yeah, go ahead, bro.
And so that's something that I was going to bring up from the book. And this was a book recommendation by Dan Moriarty. He's been on the show before for Earth Day. If you haven't checked out that episode, go check it out. Dan's a very smart dude on top of a lot of that stuff. And so we had a conversation just talking about what the cost of civilization is. And so he recommended the book. And I believe it was called the Cost of Civilization. And what we looked at was, or no, Civilized to Death. My bad. It's Civilized to Death. That's what it is. And so we literally looked at that. And when you read through the book, they're talking about, well, there's all of this great stuff that happened, but you have to understand that there's bad that is inside of that greatness, but that's the price. That is literally the cost, right? When you're working out, they say no pain, no gain is like the old slogan or whatever. It's because when you're doing that and you're ripping and tearing your muscle in order to become stronger, your body's going to go through that healing process and then you come out on the other side stronger. So like you said, with the microchipping, is it good? Is it bad? Now, if you're a person, and think of Minority Report, if you got murdered, Minority Report was like your best friend. You were like, oh yeah, you're going to find my killer. But you also have to realize that you're being tracked just as well as the killer is. And that's the price of having the crime solved more effectively. So you're not putting the wrong person in jail anymore, or it greatly decreases. So that's what we're constantly battling, of the good and the bad. Do we want it for us, or do we want it for ourselves? Like, we'd love for everyone else to be microchipped so we knew what they were doing, but we don't want it on us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I don't again, it's here's how I look at it. I believe every single individual human being should have an opt-out ability to opt out. But I need you to understand that even if you opt out, if you have a cell phone, you're already opted in.
Right.
Like, I need you to understand that, like, prior to this concept of vaccines, the control and no information about you, we've given them everything. For the last 2 decades, we have given them our wildest fantasy, our dreams, our Google search.
Yep.
Like, whatever you Google search, whatever you're fucking into, you weirdos.
Yep.
They know.
Yo,
they know, and they resell and sell and resell that information. So again, unless you're sending me a carrier pigeon, I don't know how you plan on avoiding it. You know,
and wait. And pigeons aren't real. Remember that?
Yeah. Please, y'all need to look that up. Pigeons ain't real. And I'm not
seen a baby pigeon.
I'm absolutely 110% on this topic, not trying to insult anyone's intelligence whatsoever. I'm literally just trying to inform you that Skynet's already here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already here, bro. Like, we just have to be able to control it. We need to stop thinking about the negative aspects of it, because that can consume us, and we need to start thinking about controlling it in a manner where we only have positive aspects, or mitigating the negative aspects as much as we can, because there's a computer, there's going to be a hacker, you know what I mean? There's cybersecurity, there's going to be a cyber hacker. Like, it's just the duality of life. It's the yin and yang of the universe. You know, for every stars explode and they create other universes. You understand what I'm saying? It's just the laws of nature. It's the laws of whatever, you know what I mean? It's just the way it is. So let me answer this one real quick. So here's what my mind is. If they create something that is disease or whatever, I have a really difficult time believing that they don't have a cure for what they created. Money from all avenues, from both sides on that front. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, if they did create it, but
job security.
But I'll give you a scenario that if they did create it and they might not have a cure, if they were in the process of creating it and fucked up protocols and it got out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a scenario that we could actually be in. Human
error. Yep. Human error exists in everything that we do, no matter how sure we are. There's always some degree of human error in it, which is why when you look at medicine and doctors, that number of 250,000, I'm like, well, there's going to be a degree of human error. People get tired, right? People get burnt out. People make mistakes. People cough in the middle of surgery, or have a itchy nose, and they end up dropping.
Motherfuckers then close people up with their watches, and people like, oh shit, my Rolex, where'd it go?
Exactly,
you know
like that shit just slid off. It was slippery in there.
It's human error. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so and we laugh, not saying it's okay, but like it happens.
It happens. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what I'm always worried about with us as humanity, because we have a lot of first world ideas and problems here. You understand what I'm saying? There's people in other countries. Why are they doing the things that they need to do? Because, like Taiwan, for example, we talked about that. Taiwan is literally right there off the coast, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Right next to China. And they took complete control of their situation. And they literally virtually have no cases of anything coming out of Taiwan right now. Why? Because they locked down. They were unified. They understood the greater good. They understood the concept. They understood the risk versus the reward. And they took the reward route.
And this is where I have to say, to some degree, that's what happens when you have a homogenous society, though. Yeah. When, like, because we are this melting pot in America and have this concept of freedom and different values and different belief systems and different this, different that, and everyone has the right to be an individual. When you push individuality to the point where it's a detriment, you can't have the same reaction time and reaction protocol as a Taiwan, who is greatly homogenous, where they all have pretty much the same beliefs. They all have the similar upbringing and things like that. So there's benefits to being multicultural, but there's also benefits to being a homogenous society that kind of has a one unified thought.
Well, this is okay. So let's go down this hole. Let me take you down a little conspiracy hole here. So let's say I can find an argument why. Oh man, this is gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound crazy. Y'all ready for this one? All right. I'm not, and this is not my final perspective. I just like to think about things. I like to think about all things. I don't like to just be married to one thing. I like to think about all these things, right? The only one thing I like to be married to is my wife. Other than that, everything else is open for interpretation, right? I like to bounce these ideas through my mind and not be, I like to fight my biases.
Right.
So this is where I wonder, okay, so like, let me give you an example. COVID's winning the fight. You know why COVID's winning the fight? Because it has a homogenous attitude. It's fighting together. It has one cause and one sole purpose. Even though it's a billion different kinds of cells, a trillion different kinds of cells operating globally, they have one goal in mind. Now, us being free individuals is why it's not gone yet. Us not having the idea, what's smarter? The bee that flies outside the hive on his own, because this is not a fucking bee movie, people.
Right.
Or the bees that are in the hive and, going out, pollinating flowers, bringing it back and creating that honey.
Right.
And keeping that hive sustainable.
It's working together.
Ants. You see this in all packs of wolves. Ambush of tigers, pride of lions. Yep. You name it. There's a conjoined necessity that they have to survive, to their survival. And self-preservation is almost gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as what I can see in this country in particular, definitely here in particular, because we traded a lot of our instincts for comforts.
Right.
And I worry about that. I worry that at some point, now again, I'm not saying communism is great. I don't even like to put a word to it. Because that's another thing they play. They play this game with labels. So anytime you're thinking about everybody doing something as the greater good together, they just say communism. No.
Right.
Or they say socialism.
Right.
No. Or they say sheep. Do you understand that a lot of animals migrate in herds because it protects them from predators?
Mm-hmm.
Do you even understand that concept?
Because you can't catch them all.
It's the lone sheep that usually gets caught by the wolf. It's the sheep that falls behind that usually get caught by the wolf. But a wolf will not take on an entire pack of fucking sheep because it can't. Okay, so you have to understand how the collective numbers actually keep a school of fish. Mm-hmm. They confuse their predators by having reflectors on them and using light rays that come through the ocean to make themselves appear to be a bigger object. A massive one object. To confuse things. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
To confuse their predators. So I never understood that concept. Like you're not giving enough credit to the flock.
Mm-hmm.
And you're giving too much credit to the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
The flock is eating every day on the green pastures.
Mm-hmm.
And the wolf has to
Hold on. All right. So it looks like we got a little frozen there, but that's fine. That's fine. So, again, just jumping into the pack versus dolo conversation, there is essentially looking at it as sometimes it is smarter to go with the flock, right? When in particularly in situations when danger is around, right? We're talking We're not talking of instances where there's no danger around and, the sheep decides they want to go off a little bit. We're talking about situations where danger is afoot. The pack comes together, or when they believe danger is going to be afoot, they come together in order to best protect themselves and each other and decrease the chances that something bad is going to happen to them. And so when we're looking at the situation of the virus getting spread around, we have to have that same mentality of going, hey, there's something dangerous afoot right now. So while it's dangerous, we need to come together, be homogenous, and be a cohesive unit in order to better protect ourselves from the danger. Now, once the danger goes away, we can go back to being kind of our individuals and pushing ourselves forward, whatever. But whenever danger is around is when we have to say we need to come together in this moment for the best opportunity for the most of us to come out on the other side of this successful, healthy, and looking forward into the future, right? Those are the things that matter for us. Those are what we have to look forward to and what we have to focus on in all of this. And yeah, right. When in Rome, like Mike says, I can't pull up the comments and stuff from my side. It was on Peter's side has a production, so if you can still hear me, that means I'm still good to go talking in here. But I want to go ahead. We might jump back into this, but I want to go ahead and move forward into something a little bit interesting here too as well. No, I wanted to do that with Peter specifically. Boo, 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 boo. So let's see. So now here we have all right. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one up for you guys. And we'll talk about it for a second. I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing to try to keep society together at this time, right? A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people were, worried about paying their bills, work, and all that stuff. And so a stimulus proposal has come out, and it's $2,000 payment plus $1,000 per month until 1 year after the crisis ends. Okay. And so we have the CARES Act provided many Americans with financial relief in the form of a $1,200 stimulus check. But as that program rolls out, it has become apparent that the lawmakers that more financial assistance is needed. There are currently several proposals from various lawmakers that would provide Americans with ongoing financial support. And there's a link there for some of the other proposals, but now you can add the automatic boost to the communities, ABC is what they're calling it, act proposal, which was introduced by Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib of Michigan and Pramila Jayapal from Washington. If approved, ABC Act would provide every American with a boost debit card that is preloaded with $2,000. The card would be reloaded with $1,000 each month until 1 year after the end of the COVID-19 crisis. The bill calls for the use of prepaid debit cards to assist those who are unbanked or do not have access to check cashing services. Okay. The goal of the bill is to guarantee no one is left behind. As written in the bill, it would provide $2,000 prepaid debit card to everyone, including, and this is where it gets sticky for a lot of people, taxpayers, dependents, non-citizens, individuals who do not have bank accounts, social security numbers, or permanent addresses, people living in unincorporated territories or protectorates, and Americans living abroad. Dependents, the proposal gives an example of a family with 4 dependents being eligible to receive a prepaid debit card for each taxpayer and each dependent. For example, a couple with 2 children will receive 4 debit cards at $2,000. Non-citizens and temporary debit cards would be reloaded with $1,000 each month until 1 year after the coronavirus emergency ends. So now they want to talk about getting money out to everyone. No person left behind, whether you're a citizen, non-citizen, illegal, undocumented, however you want to say any of that stuff. And they're talking about getting the prepaid cards to U.S. citizens, the prepaid cards out to people via direct mail, in-person pickup, or at-risk outreach, right? So through direct programming to people that are currently in need of services, right? So now, how do we feel about that? How do we actually think about the effects that that's going to have on our economy, on the undocumented, unworking or working class? How is that going to play an effect? Because the undocumented immigrants are a part of our economy, whether we like it or not, accept it or not. They help things go around, and they do need help in order to help keep things going.
First off, I just want to say,
what do we feel about that?
$2,000,
is it too much?
I want to say the government is definitely tapping into our shit, because my house just went through a whole entire power surge. It was crazy. That was actually freaky, especially based on the conversation we were just having. So that was actually kind of creepy.
Right. They said, nah, too much.
These motherfuckers hit me with the light flicker. They hit the switch on my power real quick.
So, the bam.
It was literally everything flicked off and everything flicked back on. It was crazy. That was strange. The whole house too. Okay. But anyway, let me speak on that. So, all right, here's the thing. Okay. I'm just throwing a perspective out there, right? What is the benefit of being a citizen if non-citizens get all the benefits that a citizen gets? We have to consider that to a degree, because and let's understand this. Right. We're the only country. I'm not saying they can't have things. I'm not saying that they don't deserve things, basic humanities and stuff like that. But we're the only country that is so giving, and people want to put that under the guise that like we're supposed to be the standard. We're not the standard, because we're the ones that keep blowing up everybody else too. So we got to pick and choose here. You understand what I'm saying? Like we drop bombs in Baghdad, but at the same time, we want to give. I'm a person who, as an American citizen, has less of. I have to struggle harder because I have children to keep my license than someone who comes here with children and illegal to keep their license.
Right, exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? I got people fighting for people who aren't naturally born citizens here to have benefits that I can't get based on my status in certain situations. So, at some point you have to ask yourself, like, what are the, what are the benefits of being a citizen of your country? Because if we're doing away with citizenship, fine, and everybody's getting everything, fine. But you can't have citizens of the U.S. not having access to things that non-citizens are having easier access to.
So, right now, it looks like the only benefit to being a citizen of the U.S. is that you can run for president.
But even then, that's going to change.
Or
if
you
we
have
keep
to be
going down this rabbit hole.
Born.
Yeah, that's going to change if we keep going down the rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe, because again, I believe people are. It's fucking me up. People keep using this word tribalism. And I'm like, it's fucking me up, because if tribes are actually respecting each other's land and shit like that, and tribes work great. It's when they don't. It's when one tribe just wants to be like, fuck everybody, I'm gonna take over everything. And then you get, Genghis Khans and shit. You understand what I'm saying? But like, if the tribes respect each other's borders and respect each other's rules, it's like
trade with each other.
Yeah, and when you visit someone's house, it's like you don't go into their house and not try to respect their customs. You understand what I'm saying? Right. This is our house. You know what I'm saying? I'm an African American. I understand it sounds crazy, but I am. I'm an African American, African first. That's my roots, but I'm in America. I was born here. I'm in America. I'm a citizen of America. I file my taxes here. I have my home here. I raise my family here. It is what it is. So I expect some benefits to come along with being an American citizen that people who just show up shouldn't just be able to just grab willy-nilly. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not knocking immigrants at all. Wonderful people migrate here all the time. But even if you're wonderful or not, that doesn't necessarily mean you should just come off the boat and get everything that I paid for. You know what I'm saying? Like I paid for this shit. You understand what I'm saying?
You gotta put in.
And absolutely, there are work areas, like working in the fields and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They get paid, they take the lower pay to do that kind of stuff. There's service industry work that they get paid lower, but they'll do it and Totally get that. But is that not a consequence of you coming here under the terms that you did? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a necessary cog in the wheel. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you again, people aren't respecting people's mathematical equation and to the summary of their math problem here. Like, if I come here legally and I can't get the paperwork I need to get a job, then I'm left with certain jobs. It's either I'm going to do that or I'm going to do some illegal shit. And a lot of people come here and decide to do the illegal work. You know what I'm saying? The non-violent illegal work than to do the violent illegal shit to make a living. So I respect those people 110%. But until you get your paperwork in, I can't. I'm not having an opinion on that. Like, it's on you to get your citizenship together. You know what I'm saying? And decide to, because like, listen, man, I understand the concept. If the whole entire world is deciding no borders, we go where we want, we do what we want. Fine. I'm in. I'm totally in. But that's not what's happening everywhere else. That is not happening. I just can't pop up somewhere, bro. And if those motherfuckers got rules to not be able to pop up here, then I should have rules for them not to be able to pop up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be mutual. You know what I'm saying? You know, you should give what you get. If you're an African American, would you qualify for all of what we deserve? Can we switch the words? Can we switch the word? Get what's right. If you were American African, would you qualify for all you deserve? Yeah, I'm always going to be African American first. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that more so than a lot of other people, I get what you're saying in theory, but I'm always going to use the prefix African first. And I respect it. It's like when you say you're Irish American, you know what I'm saying? I respect that your Irish roots are what you descend from, and America is the tree that you're growing from. I totally don't have any quandrum with that wording whatsoever. Because to say I'm American first and African second that's a false negative. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm reminded by this judicial system, and I'm reminded by the society that I'm African first all the time. If I wasn't reminded of that all the time, then maybe it'd be American African, but I'm reminded of that first and foremost. I always make this argument, and again, I love the LGBT community. Or I love them. I love them absolutely 110%. I got no qualms about it. But they always say to me, you know, just imagine, you know, just first off, they start with imagine being oppressed. I'm like, time out. First off, I am. Second off, you know, they have this concept that it came before, you know, racism. I'm like, no, we just gave racism a name finally. There's always been differences of people before we can even, because, and then another thing too that I don't have to protect me is I can't just not act like I'm not gay. I'm black, nigga. Like, I'm black. I can't hide that. You understand what I'm saying? And not being able to hide that is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You can not saying that you should have to hide that you're gay at all, but you can. If you're in a dangerous situation and something's going down, and somebody walks in the room like, who's gay in here? Who's gay?
You can hide it.
You could be like, who? Where are they? Which he is.
That dude Steve Steve looking real suspect.
But I can't do shit about being black. Nobody's gonna walk in and be like, who's black in here? They know. And that makes us always in the presence of imminent danger and people who hate racially versus the other shit. Again, I'm in total support of the community. I just want them to understand a little bit the difference between it's not all the same struggles. All struggles are not created equally. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, gay people have struggles. I mean, there's gay black people who have struggles. I mean, one of the number one hurt people in that community from the alphabet, in that community of all the alphabet is you know, black transgender women. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they're violently hurt all the time, but they happen to be black and gay. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, the whole concept of double minorities and all this other stuff. I mean, there's so many layers to this shit, so many nuances, and we just got to respect some of the nuances instead of dismissing them, because that's where shit gets hazy. You know, one thing I'll bring up, I'm gonna bring this up because I noticed it. I saw a variation of the flag come out that had the black and brown strip on it, and that shit didn't last long. And I don't understand what happened. I was confused. I was like, finally, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was to. And again, I'm not well versed in this, so I would love for somebody to educate me on it. But I want to know why the brown and black stripe were removed.
Why didn't it last?
I don't get it. I don't understand what happened.
If it was about joining struggles, why didn't
I'm legit asking. There's no hate. I'm legit asking. See, people also get. It's like if I go to church, right? whatever denomination you are. And then I say, well, where did God come from? That's a legit question that I would have being an inquisitive creature. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that I don't believe, it's that I'm asking a question. I just go back to the country my forefathers absolutely demolished to get any of this. Still makes me sick thinking of what the native folks went through. My ancestors just broke bonkers. I guess I'm thinking from the side of it. Got many friends and families. We all do many different races. Wish it could just be no, absolutely. But one love doesn't mean we have to be one shade or look at as one love to me is loving everybody's differences. That's one love to me.
Right.
I love everybody's differences. You understand
loving you because you're different.
Yeah, period. I love it. Like it's like a meal. You need all these ingredients to make this beautiful meal. It's like a painting. You need all these beautiful colors to create the sky and the trees and the leaves and the mountains and the animals and it's all needed. Like there's a spectrum for a reason, and that spectrum makes life beautiful. So totally one love, but one love of all things. All things.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, totally. We're in the same pocket, my man Mike. You know that. We're always in the same pocket, just different perspectives on how we get there. And I think that it's important that we have these conversations.
Pocket, different coins.
Yeah, exactly. It's just important that we have these conversations. That's what this podcast is about. It's about being compelling. You know what I'm saying? So it's absolutely one love, but of all things. You understand what I'm saying? Of all things. So, you know what I'm saying? Because one love doesn't mean the same to everybody if you don't say all things.
Mm-hmm. Now you kind of touched on the fact that you can't be in a room and have someone go, oh, who's a black guy, and they wouldn't notice. And you said, we talked about imminent danger a little bit. We've done that, a couple episodes before as well. But I want to touch on something that kind of like sent chills to me because it reminded me of a story that happened when I was stationed in Mississippi, in Jackson, where an older black gentleman was dragged for about 5 miles and killed in the process by white supremacists that he was just there on vacation. And so now we have a situation where an unarmed black jogger was shot by 2 white males who said they were out looking for a burglar, and they happened to come upon this black male. And
and this is when I say what I say, this is what I'm talking about. Because we still live in a world where I can't sell a loose cigarette without getting choked out. Sure. We're not getting hung by ropes in the street. Sure. That's because there's a multitude of ways to kill people now, mentally and physically. Right. And it's just, if we're going to keep acting like there's not a problem, see, the longer we act like there's not a problem, it's just the same shit as the COVID shit. The longer we act like there's not a problem, we're not going to solve it. Mm-hmm. And I try my best to make sure that this doesn't, I try to look at those 2 white individuals
right
as the problem, not all white individuals.
No.
I used to do that. You know what I'm saying? I used to walk around like it's everybody. It's all fucking white people. I can't trust none of them. And that's not true. But I need my white peers to understand and be one of the biggest people to reality check this shit. You understand what I'm saying? I need to see more outcry about this shit. I need to see not just from us, because like, let's be serious. Like, if somebody's already being oppressed and they're whining about it, nobody's listening to their cries. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem with writing on markers and shit. Like, I believe like we have to actually physically demand what we want, because I mean, again, look, nobody has a problem when everybody's up in arms when you want to protest a football, silent, peaceful protest at football game, but nobody's up in arms when people show up with arms to stay houses and shit. So it's hard. It's hard to justify this shit and say that it's one love when you don't see that being practiced. Right. But I also do understand that these stories get light. And they burn the brightest because it's what sells. You understand what I'm saying? So it's tough right now. But it was a horrific moment, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Ahmaud Arbery, 25, was killed on the 23rd in a neighborhood outside of the coastal port of the city of Brunswick. No one has been arrested or charged in the case, which is ridiculous, prompting an outcry from the local NAACP, which don't even start on the NAACP. Some fuck shit going on there. You know, I won't deviate. I'll stick to the story. Aubrey was black, and the men who chased him are white. Well, great. Okay, yeah, cool. That think that's an important thing to point out. But I'm not even gonna listen to the sound of the video because I don't want to hear him being shot. But a father and his son pull up in a pickup truck and jump out, and this guy's just jogging. And I guess there was been a string of burglaries in the area, and that justified them going out looking for people. Like white people don't burglarize homes or some shit. And they killed this young man. They killed him, and you'll see somewhere at the end right here, a couple of shots go off. One finally hits him, and then you'll see him try to run away a little bit. Oh, okay. They don't have that part. Let me play the full video. I guess we're gonna have the sound because the video comes on with the sound.
No, they
Do you hear that, Ty?
No.
Good. I don't want anybody to hear the sound.
Yeah.
It's disheartening, man. And then the other guy's getting off the truck with his gun still in hand as he sees this guy fall and die. It's hard for me not to get angry. It really is.
Right.
I don't give a fuck if that was a white kid and that happened from two other white people doing that to a white kid. I would still feel like it's fucked up, but we know the reason behind this. Yeah, there was a car. I don't know. There was a car behind them. Apparently he saw what was going on. He saw the guys riding around in the truck with guns, and they saw the guy jogging down the street. And we're just in the age where everybody pulls out their phone anytime they see some crazy shit. So,
right. Because they didn't know.
Maybe they weren't. Yeah, maybe they weren't armed. You see somebody with a shotgun riding around in the truck.
Yeah,
we're in a mass shooter age, so you just don't know how to respond. It's fight or flight in life, and everybody doesn't necessarily have that fight mechanism. I don't blame them for that. A lot of people think I got a family to get home to myself. You don't know the person's race behind the camera or anything like that. I didn't read any of those details anyway. It's just fucked up, man. It's just fucked up, because we're supposed to be beyond all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other way of putting it. And, I got so many people that like post of this, man. They're grandstanding online about shit. And it's like, I'm not that type of person. That's why I'm out here in the community actually putting in the work. Like, I'm not with fucking posting about racism for likes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even want to say nothing when motherfuckers took our flag. And then, at the end of the day, what did I do? I persevered and put the flag back up.
Right.
It just is what it is. And I'm daring you to do it again because that's it. If that's the gist of the most you're going to do, you're a whack racist for one. And I'm just not having it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not having it. I believe in fighting for what we believe in. And I believe, these are crazy times. You know what I'm saying? It is crazy times. But honestly, like, to be serious with you, like, nah, it's not. This is what we've been dealing with. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's an extension of what's kind of always been happening.
And we haven't learned from our mistakes. We just haven't. As a species, we have not learned from our mistakes. It's pretty clear. And I always argue, especially for my religious crew, Mike and Amanda, I want to hear from I expected some degree of the religious crew to maybe consider, because, we talk about, what happens is God's will. I expect this to some degree for people to consider that this COVID shit is God will. Maybe this was a reality check from the maker to understand that, you know what I mean? We're not, maybe it was supposed to make us realize that we're conjoined and we're not, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there was supposed to be a silver lining to this, and maybe we're just too far gone.
Is this a reset?
What is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're losing a lot of people, black, white, purple, brown, green, mermaids, whatever the fuck you want to be. I just know that there's a hell of a lot of loss of life, but at the same time, we have more people on the planet than we've ever had. If you actually look at the numbers, because we have a game of the information is getting to us faster, so it can seem like it's happening more and more. And yes, we do have mass shootings and stuff going on and things like that. I don't want to marginalize those whatsoever, but we do have less people dying now in history more than ever, which is also crazy. If you look historically at violence and numbers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We dropped an atom bomb, for God's sakes. You understand what I'm saying? So it's about perspective.
Yeah. Put it in.
It's about perspective, and death is a part of the cycle. It's just the unnecessary shit that is hard to swallow. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like somebody died in an accident or died from COVID. Even COVID sucks. But as far as we know, it's a natural occurrence that's happening. You know, it's happened. The flu, the, you know, pandemics, all of this stuff,
Right.
you know, as far as we know. But when somebody's life is taken ignorantly by another human being, it's not cool. Like the doctor we were talking about earlier, it's just not cool. This young black man just now, shit's not cool. And I don't know. I'm incensed by this shit a lot. I don't even have words for this shit because I don't want to say I don't want to make people feel, you know, we talk about this concept of white guilt. And I don't want you to feel guilty. I just want you to help get this shit solved. You know, the feeling of guilt to me is almost like an admission of unconscious bias that you're understanding that you might have in yourself instead of fighting those and just getting to the point where we solve shit. You understand what I'm saying? So like, I'm trying to be sensitive because, you know, again, I have white family members and I know we're being race baited in a lot of ways, but there's a difference between race baiting me with saying, you know, nailing in a football game and killing someone. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah, where there's an actual loss of life. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely a tough situation to look at, to deal with, to go through any of that stuff. Obviously, neither of us have died from anything we went through. But it doesn't mean we haven't had the experiences of feeling like that might be it. You know what I mean? Or feeling like you might have to stand up for yourself and this might be the last stand. So, you know, because I got into I'll talk about what happened to me in Jersey, where I got into a fight with a dude at the bar over recently like won, and he was sitting at the end of the bar and he was just talking massive crap when Obama came up on the screen talking about monkeys running the White House and the country and all this other stuff. And I asked the bartender not to serve him anymore. You know, I was like, hey, it sounds like that dude may have had too much. And it got to the point where we had to get physical. And I didn't know dude from Adam. I don't know what he could have had or didn't have or whatever. But I looked at him, and when his scenario came down, I said, this might be the last stand, because if this dude's that racist that he's willing to get that mad over a person on TV that he doesn't know, what do I know that he might feel about me being right there in front of him? You know what I mean? He was like, we should just kill that guy. If that's your sentiment and I'm right here, they're going to look for you if you kill him. For me, they might not. You know what I mean? It's going to be a different level of dedication. So, you know, I've had to face a situation where I'm not knowing if that's my last stand. And I know, Peter, you definitely have too. So, you know, it hits different when we see those videos like that, or when we read about those stories and we're like, dang, you know, we've run into stuff like that before. We've been questioned before about, hey, do you know what happened over here? And it's like, if I say no, are they going to keep pressing me? If I say yeah, are they going to keep pressing me, or, you know, whether I did it or not? And it's tough to think about those scenarios for a lot of people who haven't experienced it. And it's tough for them to understand where we're coming from when we're talking about those type of things.
Yeah, I try to stay away from these topics, man.
Yeah.
I'm not all the way reformed when it comes to this kind of shit.
Right.
I'm just gonna leave it there. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a tidbit of how I feel and where I still need work in my reform. I couldn't run into Zimmerman. I would risk it.
Right.
And some days I don't understand why people haven't. Because even when the family was trying to heal, he was trying to sue the family for telling their story about their son being murdered. And he was trying to auction off the gun. And there's just so many things. And I want to say this. I'll say this. I get extremely upset with my people because my people are too busy playing this gangster narrative that's not a black narrative or part of black culture. It came from movies and shit. And then we're living this facade while this guy kills our people, and then we continue to murder each other.
Right.
And then when we bring that up, we try to make a comparison to white on white crime. I don't think comparing yourselves to anyone who's putting you in the position that you're in is a smart thing to do. I think the goal is to, you know, be better than that.
Right.
So I'm in a hard war because I'm fighting against my people's mentality, a certain level of my people's mentality. And at the same time, I'm trying to stay cool enough that I don't end up having my family visit me through a glass because someone takes this racism shit too far.
Right.
This shit's tough right now. I think y'all just like seen my whole demeanor change because I don't take this shit like lightly. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit really, like, it could have been me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing that people don't understand. Like, and here's the thing: it could have been me, and I probably would have been doing more than jogging. I would have been talking shit and all of that because I'm not taking shit from racists. Like, I'm just not.
Right. Likewise.
I'm just not. I'm not taking that shit. And sometimes I appreciate people like Mike on here, you know, willing to have the conversation. What I really have a disdain for, and I'm just going to be quite frank and quite honest, is those people who, when we talk about these things as black people, when other people from other cultures get silent.
Right.
Because your silence is just as bad as watching the body get dragged down the street. Your silence is just as bad as watching the guy get shot and then, you know, not saying anything, not giving your perspective on it. I have to hold my brothers and sisters accountable in the hood to do better. And I need you to do the same to your people in the burbs or whatever they're from to do better.
Right. Or instantly go into the layers argument.
Yeah, there's no layers to this shit. There's just people that are wrongfully, ignorantly, their lives are taken. And there's people who need to be held accountable for that. There's people that, you know, we can't play the mental health game when it comes to certain people. And then when we find out it's mental health in a black person, it's like, well, you know, they deserved it.
Right.
I saw, you know, I'm incensed to a certain degree. I believe that New Bedford has made strides, and that's why I still work, and I'm part of the fabric of the part that works to get the city to where it needs to be. But I also believe that my perspective, my unique perspective, and my unique experiences make me equipped to help push the pendulum actually further to the closer to the finish line where we can actually be better, because the subtle racism out here is ridiculous. And I will never take that away. I will never, just because I acknowledge it doesn't mean I still don't care about all people. Just because it angers me doesn't mean I still don't care about all people. It angers me because I care about all people.
Yep.
It wouldn't anger me if I didn't care about all people. I would just be suited up and ready to go.
Right.
Because that me is insensitive, cold, desolate, doesn't feel anything, and will just do what I need to do to make sure I make it out. This me, it gets upset because we should be fucking better by now. We can't, you know, again, we're talking about microchips and all this other shit, and we're still arguing about the Crayola box. We're still in the sandbox arguing about crayons. We haven't evolved that much. Technology has evolved. Our mentality really hasn't. And we got to work on this shit. I mean, and it's just not black people. It's the way we've been watching things, you know, people getting treated about being Chinese during the COVID crisis, or Muslims treated, you know, we can't keep throwing everybody into the same bag because a few knuckleheads. It's always the few that are knuckleheads. And, you know, there's a large part of people that actually do care about making shit better. You know, to not accept that white America has gotten somewhat better is a fallacy, but it's also true that it's not all the way there.
Right.
Both are true. Yes, we've made progress. We have not made enough progress. It's true. They're both true. Some to people who try to argue and say that we haven't made progress because one guy gets shot in the street doesn't understand how commonplace it was for everybody to get shot in the street. So it might not be the absolute progress that we want, but we have made some progress, and we definitely need to make more. I'm afraid for what happens if we don't, and I'm made to choose a side. I think that's my biggest fear in life, is ever being forced to have to choose a side instead of trying to walk this path of all sides. And that's why I got so serious about it. So rest in peace to that brother, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, condolences to his family. I'm kind of tired of saying that shit. We need cops to want to be brave and want to be cops again and understand the inherent risk that comes with signing up with the job. We need doctors that understand that you signed up to be on the front lines to save people during times like this. It's not just for people coming in and getting physicals.
Right.
We need teachers that understand that, you know, it's not just a job. You love educating.
Yeah. It can't just be the easy kids. It can't just be, oh, I like teaching when the kid listens. It has to be, I like teaching when it's hard.
It's tough, man. I don't want to stay on this topic too much longer. I think I've pretty much wrapped it up. If you want to throw anything else in there.
And we're at the 2:03 mark. So, you know, we typically run around 2 hours. So before we sign off, I do want to mention the music video reviews this Friday. All right. I know we're gonna wrap up on something somber, but the show does go on regardless of how we feel. We have to keep doing what we're doing to keep things going during this time. So this Friday, 6:40 p.m. music video reviews. We've got a crazy lineup of music video reviews. Some people were in the 1v1 battles, and some people are going to be new to the Dinner Club podcast platform, and they're going to be showing you some of their music videos and work that they've been doing. And so we're excited to bring that to you during this time. And some of them are going to be premieres. It's like the first time the video's ever been seen publicly on a platform. So super excited about the opportunity to bring that to you guys first.
We appreciate that, Amanda. And, you know, it takes a younger generation to step up. And I want to give some credit to the younger generation because, like, the younger generation is trying to change it. They mix in social media and stuff, even though it's crazy, it can be toxic at times and da-da-da-da. You know, that's if you look for the negative, you only see the negative. I see some positive, and I see, you know, races mixing and mingling like never before, and people mixing and mingling. Culture is a melting pot in this country. It's always been that way because it wasn't really ours to begin with. We kind of, you know, they kind of took it over, and then we all kind of ended up here, and now we're all here. And what are we going to do? It's already too late. We're all here, so we got to make the best of the situation. So thank you so much for that. Let me pull up this real quick. Let me get my mind right. Give me a second, people. I got to get back into my bag, man. That shit really shakes my core. Yeah, man. Friday, man, music video reviews, Friday, May 8th, live, 6:40 p.m. right here on the Dinner Club podcast. You can join us, hosted by myself and Tyson, man. We got feature artists, Lacar, Ralphie, Lomel, Share With The Plan, Breezo Finesse, Black Sea, Ty Hunt, Vinny Tesoro. Some super dope artists there, man. Some super dope, differing kind of content and stuff like that, man. Visuals, all that good stuff. You know, we have those feature artists. If you know an artist that wants to share a video, you know, we'll be on for about 2.5 hours or so for that one, maybe 3. I'm trying to finish up around 2.5 at max. But if you got a video, you know, you want to, you know, have somebody submit it, you can follow us at the Dinner Club Pod, or you can email us at Dinner Club Pod. I'm sorry, you can email us at dinnerclubpod@gmail.com. Yeah, you can send us an email there, you know what I'm saying? And we'll definitely link with you guys and get the information out. And again, we're never going to stop doing what we do. You know, we try to bring some balance, levity, and brevity here. So that's what it's all about, man. We really appreciate everybody who tunes in and enjoys the conversation that we have. We try to have some funny stuff, some serious stuff. You see, we mixed the bag up tonight. We ended on a somber note, but we wanted to make sure that we honored that young man's life, who was potentially just taking a jog in a neighborhood and trying to stay healthy during a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate and love all y'all. Let me read Amanda's thing before we get up out of here. God bless you guys. Not to be talking about this, and it's important to be aware. I know we have more to learn. I have to be bold and learn. Corruption I learned. I have to be held accountable for my biases and prejudices. We all have them. I'm doing my best to, as you can see right now, I'm doing my best to not turn this into an all situation. Right. So we all have them. The first step is being aware of it. It's just like anything else you're battling, like addictions and stuff. You got to be aware of what your weaknesses are, your triggers are, to get beyond them. I was slightly, like, my neck just cracked and everything. I was slightly triggered and everything, but I'm good. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be good. It's not going to stop the mission. It reminds me what the mission is for. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep moving forward. We love you guys so much, man. That's the last thing I'm going to finish on. Let my man Tyson do his 1, 2. Appreciate you guys so much as usual.
Yeah. And as always, this was food for thought. And no matter what you eat, just clean your plate. Peace.
I got drive like Uber. On the road like the runner beat. These coyotes can't catch up with me. Got these heads blowing like TNT. I got drive like Uber. Yeah, all these lions in his pride with me, hunting on the daily, cause the dream ain't free. Gotta get it now, time to wait for me.